Hello everyone, Shinto Bean here playing some more Warhammer combat cards, and here we are at the beginning of the PvP event, which will be lasting for the next 3 days. Once again, just looking at the modifiers, we have all of the cards set to the same even playing field, and we also have 199 deck points and 8 bodyguards available for use, so it doesn't matter if you're a veteran or a beginner, you're all sort of at the same level, although veterans will of course have more cards in their collection to choose from. As for keywords, for all of the missions, there are plenty of keywords available, which opens up plenty of possibilities. You can basically use almost any warlord and bodyguard, and it will count towards bonus points for the missions. Now, what I am going to do for this first video is play 3 matches using ranged warlords. I am looking forward to trying out a lot of different combinations throughout this event just to see how they perform in PvP. So this is going to be a bit of a longer video, but we're going to kick things off with the Zephyr Blade, running a few cards that I actually have never used before because I just recently acquired them and they're at such a low level that I can't use them in ranked. Specifically, we got the Drukhari Ravager with Big Game Hunter and the Void Weaver with Barrage. Other cards like this Shroud Runner are crazy strong. There is some power creep I've noticed in cards that they've been releasing recently. They just get much powerful. Much stronger than cards that have been around for a lot longer. This is a great example of that. So we'll just kick things off with the Zephyr Blade and see what we can do here. Here we are playing against Jacket. We do have the initiative, so we'll be deploying first. Now this isn't necessarily an advantage in PvP. We're playing against Ahriman. Of course, at level 4. Hey, it actually tells you what language your opponent is playing in. The cards are in Russian here. Alright, so it looks like a standard Psychic Ahriman deck. We'll drop some of the fodder at the beginning. Of course, with the Zephyr Blade, whenever anything dies, all of our cards get +3 ranged attack. So we'll save some of the heavy hitters for later on in the battle. But this is going to be interesting because Psychic, yeah, obviously I don't have any Psychers in this deck, and my opponent is probably not going to have much in the way of ranged units. I'm dropping Malgan Ra because kind of the other cards were not really great options. Malgan Ra actually would have been a lot better deploying later on, because with that precision shot he can deal a lot more damage once he's been buffed a bit. So he's shifting everything over and bringing out the Lord of Change. And yeah, that first deployment was actually really kind of terrible on my part. Pushing the Barrage unit over to the right side. It's not going to be nearly as effective. So here we are with the first turn, but that's kind of the thing that you have to be careful of in PvP. Is your opponent can shift their cards over. The AI never does that, of course. My opponent isn't actually running too many bodyguards. We'll see what else he has in here. The Lord of Change does not have a huge amount of health. And I think actually in general, legendaries at level 4 feel a lot weaker than, say, epics at level 7 or rare cards at level 8. I'm not sure if it's just my imagination, but it might be because a lot of the cards in my collection, I have a lot of level 5 and level 6 legendaries, and so for this campaign it's kind of a downgrade. Whereas I don't have nearly as many epics at level 7 or rare cards at level 8. Alright, let's see, Malgan Ra is at 95 damage. We do have the Ravager here. We also have another Big Game Hunter. Yeah, we'll bring out the Ravager. This thing has a lot of health, and of course it's going to be dealing extra damage to the Lord of Change. This guy does not actually do very much damage. The Inspiring Presence is helpful, but we also have the Shroud Runner, so drop that down. Get the ranged boost, and this should deal a lot of damage right here. The Bolt of Change, giving the Lord of Change another 20 health right there. But yeah, this is some insane firepower. And the Ravager dealing, well, enough to kill the Lord of Change in one shot. That was actually pretty amazing. So it looks like this is going to be a pretty quick battle. These ranged units are just running away with the game. So I don't think the Lord of Change is a very good option for to be using at this level. It just doesn't have enough health to really be competitive. Of course, they'll continue with the psychic attacks here, dealing quite a bit of damage, taking down Malgan Ra. But at this point, yeah, we can take out at least 2 of the bodyguards and hit him with an outflank. This thing is another good one, the Jet Fighter, the Razor Wing. It's actually, I think, at this level, kind of better than the Crimson Hunter, just in terms of the points to stats ratio. So there you go, another over 300 damage in ranged attacks. And the Psykers just cannot keep up with this damage output. So now the Warlord will be deploying. We'll see if this guy decides to play it through here. I don't think he can actually kill anything else. You cannot surrender until you have finished deploying, though. Bolt of Change dealing 1 damage to the Shroud Runner. And yep, there's the surrender. So, pretty quick game right there. Victory for the Eldari. Alright, now moving on. We're just going to keep going here. I am going to switch it up, and this time we're going to go with Lieutenant Tomeron. And let's take a look at these units. This is pretty similar to the one that I use in ranked mode. Not many new cards here. This is actually a new card, the Black Templar's Initiate with the Flamer. And he has pretty good stats for 16 points, I think. And, of course, the big Storm Talon gunship can't pass this thing up at level 10. It is very strong. Go ahead and deploy, and let's see how these Space Marines do. And this time we are playing against the Zephyr Blade. Alright, this will be fun. Ranged versus ranged. Which one is going to come out victorious? Now the Eldari do have the initiative, so they'll be deploying first and also taking the first turn, which gives us a bit of an advantage in deployment, I think. We'll be able to counter-deploy to what they have on the field. Now, let's see. This could be a little tricky, though. We'll put down the aggressor here. And I think we'll save the scouts in case they have additional outflanking units. Yep, sure enough, that second outflank is not going to do anything because we were already debuffed to the max. And let's see, I think we can go with... Yeah, we'll put down the scout now. They may well have more outflankers, though. This time with Tomeron, every time I deploy a unit, the units that are already on the field will be getting plus 25% to their ranged attack. So you can very quickly get a very powerful ranged units on the field. But the Storm Talon gunship is not showing up, so I guess we'll just go with the scouts for now. This is actually a pretty strong card now, the Wraith Guard at level 10. Very tanky and decent damage. They do have a ranged buff, so we'll see if they go ranged here on the first turn. They won't be able to kill anything, I don't think. But that is a lot of damage. The aggressor, though, hitting back for 108 damage and 38 with the splash damage. It's a lot of damage right there just with the counterattack there. They'll have to replace the Scourge that was shot down. And I don't think they have anything that can kill my aggressor with a precision shot. So once again, I'm hoping to just out-damage them. And it should be pretty easy to blow that Fire Dragon out of the water. With this charged up ranged attack, tons of damage here. It's just crazy. So you can easily clear the board. But that does put us in danger of getting our board wiped on the following turn. So there could be a little bit of back and forth here. Hopefully the Storm Talon gunship will show up so that we can start supercharging that thing. Okay, target acquired. And target acquired is definitely more useful in PvP, I think. You can use it to focus down the priority target, whatever you want to kill. Got hit by another outflank there. And wow, okay, that is going to be a lot of damage coming at us right here. And I'm pretty sure they're just going to destroy everything on the field with this ranged volley. But we still have plenty of bodyguards, so I'm not really worried at this point. Yeah, lots of damage. And they are getting stronger with every kill. Okay. So let's see, Storm Talon is still not showing up. We'll put down the Terminator with Barrage here. Yep, and it's refusing to show up. Well, the suppressor is a decent option. We can hit him with an outflank. That will be helpful. And I think now it should definitely show up. Unfortunately, the double outflank is not going to really help us here. Do I want to go for it anyway, though? Let's see, I think, yeah, that might be kind of... Well... Yeah, kind of, that was actually a terrible move right there. Not sure why I deployed that in the right lane. Okay. I should have put that in the center. Oh well, too late. Do we want to actually attack into this is the question. Yeah, that was actually a really poor deployment. I think we're just going to go Psychic. We're just going to ready. I mean, that's hardly going to do anything. But I just don't really want to attack into these guys. But I don't know, their next attack is still going to do a lot of damage. They have been debuffed, though. Are they going to ready? Or are they going to open fire? Do they actually have any ranged debuffs? Because if not, then, yeah, it doesn't look like it, so... Yep, they're actually going for the melee attack, so... On my next turn, because I readied that last turn, I think it'll give me just enough damage to wipe these guys out, hopefully. They do have one bodyguard remaining. Okay, so I could definitely take out 2 of them at least. Very close to taking out the jet bike in the center, but it does survive. And now their warlord is going to have to deploy along with the final bodyguard. I don't think they have anything that can take out the Storm Talon in one shot. So as long as the Storm Talon survives, we're good to go. Whoa, okay, if there's one card that can kill it, there is the Crimson Hunter, 124 ranged, and plus with the scout from the Zephyr Blade is actually going to get pretty close. Well, it might actually be enough to take out the Storm Talon. Very close, but not quite enough. And that means they're in trouble now. Yeah. Gonna easily be able to take him out at this point. Just throw down this guy. And then hit him with the Inspiring Presence. And even though actually we got debuffed once again with an outflank, the Storm Talon by this point should have more than enough damage to take out the Zephyr Blade in one shot. Thing has 239 firepower. And it's reduced to 192, but one-hit wonder there, securing a victory for the Space Marines. Okay, so this is I mean, it's a decent deck. I actually think I like the Eldari one a little bit better. Getting to use those new cards is actually pretty fun. Alright, for the third match, I actually just finished it, and I played as the Tervigon, which is one of the strongest warlords in the game. Definitely a very strong option in PvP with those infinite Termagants. You really can't go wrong. It's also very straightforward, just throw a bunch of ranged units in there. But the match I recorded was pretty boring, and I want to show you something a little more exciting. So we're going to go with Aun'va running some battle suits and 1 healer, and the Krutox Rider. And we'll see how this goes. Now, this is very risky because Aun'va is absolutely useless against Psychers. So if I get matched up against a Psychic deck, I'm most likely going to lose. But he is very strong now against both ranged and melee. So if I'm up against one of those, we'll be pretty much set. But it looks like we're up against Greyfax, who tends to run Psychers. So this could be bad news. The first unit is not a Psycher. So that looks good so far. We'll drop down the Broadside Battlesuit. Now they do have the initiative, so they will be taking the first turn. Okay, and so far so good. No Psychers as of yet. We'll drop down the Riptide Battlesuit. That thing is going to be fun. Yeah, at level 7 this thing is pretty ridiculous. 108 ranged attack, so much health, and especially in combination with Aun'va, it's just going to be absolutely bonkers how strong that thing is going to get. Let's go ahead and we'll drop the Krutox over here. They're probably going to be going melee, but I mean, no matter what they do, they're going to be taking massive damage. Because Aun'va is actually one of the few warlords who it's better if he goes second, because his units will deal more damage with the counterattack, as you're about to see. So there goes the Berserk on the Crutox. It's also getting plus 35 melee. The broadside gets plus 30, and it's, or actually I lost count there, but yeah, at any rate, it's dealing a lot of damage in return. And then on our turn, of course, we can hit with the ranged attack. It looks like they don't have a whole lot of ranged to counter with. And of course, when they do counter, they will be further increasing the ranged attack on my cards. Now they are running Greyfax, but how much of a boost are they actually getting? Only 12%, so that's not really a very good use of Greyfax's special rule. Now will they actually be able to kill anything here? I didn't actually look at the stats. I mean, they got decent damage, but it's not enough to finish off anything here, which is bad news for them. Look at that, Crutox Rider dealing 117 damage now, and it's ridiculous. Just take a look at this right now. So 68 range, 117 melee. The broadside dealing 81. They do have this dude, Curtis Hicks, but again, the level 4 legendary is just not going to be that strong. With Inspiring Presence, it might actually be able to take out the Riptide. Alright, we'll go for the ranged attack here. Crutox will survive, so he'll be able to directly attack the Warlord. Curtis Hicks survives, and they take out the broadside. So there go all of the bonuses. I'm afraid all we have to do is drop down a healer here, and that Riptide is good to go. Curtis Hicks could have come pretty close to killing it, I think, with the Big Game Hunter damage. Will they go for the final turn or just surrender? I'm about to find out. They are going for the melee attack. Smart choice there. Alright, let's see how much damage Curtis Hicks can do here. 126, not bad. The Riptide there could have done 154 melee damage in return, so that is a good example of how Aun'va is just crazy when paired up against either ranged or melee. But again, it is kind of risky, so be forewarned. Should you find yourself against a psychic deck, it will not be a fun experience. So anyway, that's a first look at the PvP event for you. Let me know if there are any warlords you want to see me play as, and I will see if I can get some more matches in over the next few days. But that is it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.